Google how to stop being bored, and right, what are you gonna get? Watch a TV show. Most of the people eating is just out of boredom. It's because they have nothing better to do with their lives. The answer is not to look for another quick fix. The answer is to do the work of dealing with your emotion of boredom now.
I think we all have to go and do and just try to still like.
Yo, what is up, guys? Today I'm gonna talk to you about how to overcome boredom. To be honest, personally, I haven't felt boredom in years. Like real boredom. Like I can't really remember when. Like little bouts of boredom here and there where, let's say, I would be at the dentist waiting for my appointment. Even then, I always had a book with me, so I would never. Even then, I would never be bored. I would always have something interesting to do. The boredom that I used to feel, let's say, when I completed a video game or I didn't know what else to play when I was a kid, was replaced by making those videos for you guys, working on my life purpose, my passions. And having this in my life really allowed me to really never ever be bored again. Just kind of crazy, because I know there will always be more to life to discover, always more to life to learn, always more inspiration to give, more content to give. I think once you start realizing this in your life, that to be bored is kind of absurd because there's so much to life to discover, like you'll never be bored. Look at the trees and how amazing that life is, the birds chirping and flying to the trees, and then every tree that you look at, even though they might look the same, not a single tree is exactly the same. Every word that I say, not every single word that I say is exactly said with the same exact intonation, the same exact frequency, the same exact way, with the same exact gesture, And I think overcoming boredom comes down to overcoming trying to look for novelty all the time, because novelty is here. George Leonard, in his book Mastery, he said that the worst form of boredom is to keep chasing after things after things after things after things after things. Looking for the next thrill, looking for the next roller coaster, looking for the next... Most people, what do? Okay? They work all week, and on the weekends they go out and, they drink with their friends. And they look for their next source of stimulation. You could see it at the bar, at the club, actually, if you look at it. The first half of the night, you come in, and then everyone looks kind of awkward, bored, and, some people are dancing and having fun, but like a big majority of people look bored. So what do? They drink. And then when they drink, they still feel bored after, so what do? They drink again. And then they drink again, and then they drink. You know what I mean? It's the more you chase, the less happy and fulfilled you'll be. Because there will always be more stimulation somewhere to go. So what does boredom mean? What does it actually mean when you're bored? What does it say about you? It says many things. If you're just temporarily bored because you're waiting for an appointment and then you're watching this video, then I don't think you have that much of a problem to deal with. But if you feel bored constantly, it could reveal something more about your life situation and yourself. If you're bored all the time, probably means you don't know what your life purpose is, and you don't know what your passions are. Therefore, there's a link to my book in the description that's called Life Purpose. You can check it out. It's like about $3 or something, some ridiculous price, because I wanted it to be accessible to all you guys. So you can check it out now. What else does it say about you? It says that probably your life is not organized to serve your highest values. Let's say that what you want to do in life is you want to give more art to the world and beautiful things. If I don't feel like I'm living up to what I want to give to the world, I'll be bored. I can do anything else. I can drink alcohol. I can party with friends like I've done last night. And it was really fun, by the way. But if you do it as a sort of escape type of thing, and you're not serving your highest values on a consistent basis, you'll be left empty and numb after, and you will have no sense of happiness. After your next drink, you'll be bored. After the next porn video, you'll be bored. After the next time you have sex, you'll be bored. What does it say as well is that you might not be in touch with what you like or want, or maybe your tastes are just too narrow because you haven't expanded them enough. Maybe you don't really know what you want, or whatever you want is just too precise. You can't have this whatever homemade burger thing. No, you want the Big Mac. Because it's too precise. Whatever else that you get will not satisfy you. And after that, you just feel like, oh man, I'm bored. I want to eat again. Okay, I don't know if that's the best example, but point being is, if you're not in touch with what you want and what you like, anything that you would do will not satisfy this boredom. Also, what boredom means is that you're probably not utilizing your strengths. Maybe you're at a job right now, calling customers or whatever, and you're not that great at socializing, but you're very good at, let's say, writing. So then you might be bored of that job because you're not utilizing your writing skills. That could be a reason why you're bored. You might be bored because you're not creating and you're not developing anything substantial or new. Let's say you're watching a TV show. Every episode, you're entertained, but then in between the episodes, how do you feel? You feel probably bored. Like, oh, well, I want the next episode. Or even during the episode itself, you might feel this weird boredom. I'm watching a show. Why am I not feeling right? It's because you're not creating something. We're humans. We gotta use our hands and do something with that. Or our voice and convey something to someone. Create something. If you're not, then no wonder why you're bored on a consistent basis. It's normal. I think it comes with society, the problem of boredom, where society kind of, gives this sort of magic pill mentality where we expect everything fast and then we can't sit down and work at a craft for longer than 10 minutes without wanting to check our phone. And the more you expect things to come fast, the more dissatisfied and bored you'll be. The more unrealistic your expectations, the less stimulated you'll be, the more bored you'll be. You gotta be willing to work hard at something meaningful, and I think that's the best way to solve boredom. So my alternative to you is to find your life purpose. Don't confuse boredom with, let's say, hard work, and don't confuse boredom with tedious tasks. Don't confuse boredom with drudgery. Don't confuse boredom with working into something meaningful yet difficult and emotionally challenging. When you're emotionally stimulated, whether it's because you're applying your skills or because you are pushing yourself to your limits, and it's hard, Let's say right now I'm talking to the camera, it feels kind of tedious because I'm kind of tired, but I like it. Even though I feel a little tired, I kind of feel myself, starting to doze off, but I like it. Why? Because that is my passion. So I'm never bored, even though sometimes it can be emotionally and physically difficult. Whatever you want to be passionate about, you'll never be bored. Here are some more practical tips for dealing with boredom. Number 1, don't distract yourself from it. If you feel bored, don't go get a piece of candy or chocolate. Don't go watch a TV right now. Escapism will only breed more boredom once the escapism is done with. Blaise Pascal, what he said, all of humanity's problems stem from a man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. So for this exercise to deal with boredom, that's what we're gonna do. This is probably the last thing you want to hear if you want to deal with boredom, but if you really value your personal development and you don't want this stupid quick fix thing that everyone tells you, then you might want to listen to this. Most people that Google how to stop being bored, and right, what are you gonna get? Oh, go get a new hobby, go buy a pet, go call a friend, watch a TV show, go eat fast food or whatever thing. Most of eating, by the way, most of people eating is just out of boredom. It's not even because they want to eat. It's because they have nothing better to do with their lives. So to just eat some junk food and become fat. 35% obesity in the United States. I don't know what the fuck it is, but anyways. The answer is not to look for another quick fix. The answer is to do the work of dealing with your emotion of boredom now. Don't escape this emotion. Deal with it now. Number 1, don't distract yourself from your boredom. Number 2, sit still for at least 10-15 minutes doing absolutely nothing. Could you do that? Like nothing at all, right? Nothing. And see how you start to feel restless and weird, and confront this emotion. Be fully with it. No phone, nothing. just sit quietly in a room alone for 10 to 15 minutes. I even put a timer. Try it out, okay? Okay, we're gonna do something very cool. I'm gonna do it with you right now, okay? You're gonna sit with me for 10 minutes and don't do anything and unplug. You don't really have to meditate, you just gotta do nothing. Here it begins. 10 minutes of doing absolutely nothing. So, as you sit, ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? Right? And focus on the details of how your breath comes in and out of your body. And perhaps what you were thinking of doing today to escape that boredom. And why did you want to do it? Ask yourself that, And what's the feeling you were trying to run away from by doing this activity, whether it's watching TV or calling a friend or whatever that is. And think about it. Also, for this last part, you might ask yourself, well, what could actually alleviate that boredom forever? What one thing could I do on a repeated basis every day, perhaps, or a lifetime goal that I could achieve that would really solve that boredom forever, right? So now that you've sat with the emotion of boredom, now the solution might be to find your life purpose. What would you want to do with your life? So sit with that for a few minutes. Oops, the camera turned off. Here we are back. I hope you stuck with me this entire time. Dive into how you're feeling. How does the feeling of boredom feel? Like, do you feel restless? Do you feel like moving right now? Do you feel like escaping it right now? Right? Well, sit for another 2 minutes with it. Just another 2 minutes. And contemplate your mind, observe your mind and how crazy it is, how it's going back and forth and coming with solutions, and observe your mind, how fascinating it is, how you can never really be bored with a mind that's always active like that, right? So observe your mind for those last 2 or so minutes. All right. Whew, what an exercise, huh? It's probably a lot harder than you thought, eh? Maybe if you've done a lot of meditation in the past, it might have been easier for you. I think that the best way to overcome boredom is to confront it ourselves and see for what it truly is. So maybe this video was the very first time that you actually sat down with yourself, maybe in your entire life, truly with boredom, and asking yourself, what is this boredom about? What is this emptiness about? Most of boredom is like kind of empty, it's feeling empty and you want to fill it with something. By confronting that boredom straight on, then maybe you won't have a need to escape from it anymore. And because you're not afraid of boredom, then you'll be able to go through longer stretches of time, perhaps without having to do anything at all. Bask into every word that I say and the silences in between my words, and just kind of take the silence to reflect. Because, most YouTube videos that you see are very fast paced, That's what I did for most of my videos actually, is I cut very deliberately, very fast, a lot, just so I can keep your attention and you don't diverge, for watch time and retention time. But this video is special for you guys that are really dedicated to personal development and are willing to work on themselves. So you might have noticed here, let's say when I'm talking and I leave a silence like that, you're waiting for the next word to come, right? You're waiting for the next piece of information. You're waiting for the next thing I'm gonna say, the next idea to stimulate you. But can you just sit in that silence, and just kind of enjoy it for what it is, instead of running to the next thing? Because running to the next thing is the greatest source of misery and the greatest source of boredom. If you can't learn to sit with silence, then you'll always be bored, really. You know, this is life and this is living. Life is wonderful, you know. How could you ever be bored of it? Now that you've confronted your boredom and the feeling of silence, you know, that plagues most of us nowadays that can't even sit by ourselves for not even 1 minute. Like for 10 minutes I was like, oh, okay, so fuck, I'm doing this video. I said I was gonna sit for 10 minutes, so I fucking did it. Yeah, what did you realize from this exercise? How was your mind looking for the next thing and trying to escape the present moment, trying to run away from it, right? Were you thinking what to do after this video? Were you thinking of how much time you're wasting, how much you should be productive? Or not even, maybe you're thinking, I'm missing out on my TV show that I want to watch right now. Whatever that is, right? What did you learn from that? What did you learn from your mind? How could you overcome this boredom in the future without having to run away from it right away? And the last step is find your life purpose. Find what you want to do with your life, because when you have your passion, trust me, you will never, ever be bored ever again in your life. And I truly mean it. You will never ever be bored in your entire life, ever, if you have your passion. Sure, unless you have to wait for the dentist for like 1 hour or something, or whatever you wait. Sure, you might be bored, but that will only be short-term boredom. Because you know when you come back home, you'll always have something to do. I'll leave you on this. You're bored, perhaps because you don't have the right type of stimulation. What I like to do is have intellectual stimulation in my life. Like, you know, like learning, reading, creative stimulation, like you're creating a piece of art, I'm speaking to the camera, making a video. For you it could be writing, for you it could be architecture, for you it could be Lego structure, I don't know. Physical stimulation, for example, exercise, sex. In moderation, obviously. You don't want to become a addict where you have to pay hookers because you can't deal with your thirst anymore. And emotional stimulation. That's why we watch movies, by the way, but you don't have to watch movies for that. You can live those emotions in real life. You don't have to experience those emotions through another character in a movie. For example, my montages where I pick up girls at festivals. You know, you don't have to live through my videos to experience those emotions. You could actually go out to a festival and experience those emotions yourself. But in conclusion, boredom is as simple as learning to sit with yourself, like we did in that exercise. And number 2, finding your life purpose, finding what you want to do. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought of that video. Did you like this 10-minute exercise? Did you actually do it? Let me know in the comments, because I read every comment, I reply to every comment. And don't forget to click on the bell so you receive all my videos that I post every Monday, Friday. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.